Finals of the very first VGC Underground tournament here in Tempe, Arizona at the SAK Gaming Lounge. Here Marty is joining me back on stream after an unfortunately heartbreaking loss there to Habb. Yeah, you doing okay?
Yeah, doing all right. Felt like I made the right reads, made the right call.
Yeah.
Just sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes I tend to overthink too. So
yeah, that's okay.
Game one was a prime example of that. Felt like Salamence kind of ran through the team, and unless he did anything other. Well, how do I put this? Salamence wins that unless he leads the one thing into Salamence that it kind of doesn't work.
Okay.
Just Talonflame Crook, and then he did that.
Right.
So kind of caught me off guard there.
Yeah.
Made the right lead in game two, just didn't make the good plays. So.
Yeah, and so I mean, but you're an adult. You have a man's job, so you're not super worried about 30, 50 bucks. Maybe it would have been worse. Maybe at this point you might prefer the CP, but
yeah.
So that's okay. You know, we're here to have fun. Here to play some Pokemon. So, but this should be a very good set. Both these players played very well in this tournament. Saiki again, this is his first official VGC competition to make it to his finals. Reminds me of a young me. I did that at my very first PC. But also Saiki's team was way better than mine. Well, no, I was using a Hibiki team, so that's not a bad team. But anyway, this should be a very competitive match. Their teams very interesting against each other. What I think what's going to be most interesting is that Habb has an answer to Nihilego.
Yeah,
and Metagross.
The Metagross is scary. The Politoed's pretty scary too. The Scald in the Rain is going to do some massive damage.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting here. I feel like the circuitry is a big problem for Saiki and having to deal with that here in game one at least too. Yeah,
actually, you know what? Circuitry, if it can just get set up, can probably and get a couple of beast boosts, Habb might just be able to lead Talonflame Circuitry, Tailwind, discharge himself, and then get a beast boost, and then keep getting knockouts and just win with like 3 beast boosts. So that's actually like a legitimate option for Habb. And then you bring something like Metagross for the Tapus, and for the Nihilego you bring Poly for the Rain to stop the Arcanine. And I don't know. Lele for damage.
The trick here is that
that's 5 months.
Yeah, can't bring 5. Saiki's speed control is probably within that Pelipper. And the circuitry just threatens Saiki not being able to get speed control for the entire game.
Right. It is Sash though, so he could trade Tailwinds with Habb. Oh man, if my Avatar wins, I'm gonna be so happy. So I think they could trade Tailwinds, which might be the only saving grace that Saiki has. Because he's definitely could be in trouble otherwise. So actually we see Talonflame Metagross coming out for Habb. We have the names on the wrong side. Whoops. We have Arcanine and Whimsicott coming out for Saiki. And the good news for Habb is that Intimidate doesn't actually work on the Metagross because of its Clear Body ability, as you just saw. So that means Metagross is still going to be able to do a lot of damage to the Whimsicott, which... Oh, actually, wait. Is the Whimsicott sashed or is the Pelipper sashed? They can't both be.
It's going to be interesting to find out. We didn't really get to see it just because the Whimsicott was taking damage before it went down to sash.
Yeah, good point.
If it has that. I think it's a good lead here by Saiki, though, so we'll see what happens. So we see the Protect come out from Metagross. We see the Taunt from Whimsicott into the Talonflame. Big reads there. Not going to be able to get that Tailwind off. And Arcanine goes for the burn up into that Metagross slot. Pretty good turn 1 for Saiki there. Yeah, actually,
Habb played that a little passively, but not in a bad way. I think he definitely was concerned about what that Arcanine could do to him. But what the problem for Habb was is definitely being taunted by the Whimsicott. I actually was surprised. I forgot that Whimsicott is faster, so it's really easy to get shut down that way. And now I wonder if Habb is going to want to switch out to preserve the priority on his Tailwind. So he's going to switch out. I wonder what to Politoed to try and mitigate some of that burn-up damage. That's definitely coming out of the Metagross. Now Habb can probably just do something like a Meteor Mash into the Whimsy and then finish it off with a Bullet Punch. But Whimsy actually does get the Tailwind off, which could come in handy later on in the game.
Yeah, we're going to see the Will-O-Wisp come off. That's the only way that he really has to neuter that Metagross. So really good attack there. Whimsicott's still not going to like that. Oh, we see the Zen Headbutt actually come out from Metagross into the Arcanine. Right, yep. So still no damage on that Whimsicott. Maybe he thinks it has the Endeavor. Maybe he hasn't been able to see the entire set. Definitely a threatening Pokemon.
Maybe it's just not worried about it, because if it's got Taunt, it's got Taunt, Tailwind, and Moonblast, maybe Protect, maybe Endeavor, something like that. Yeah. And so it really isn't going to be threatening the Metagross that much. The only way I really see it threatening the Politoed is if it gets a special attack drop with a Moonblast. So maybe he just really is concerned about...
Oh, and the light screen is the last one.
Right, okay, so yeah, I don't think Habb is super worried about the Whimsy. Now, Arcanine...
and Snarl with the light screen, yeah, that's a pretty deadly combo there. Not going to do a ton of damage, but Politoed is going to be rendered pretty much useless, even with a Hydro Pump.
Which misses anyway.
Still misses the Whimsicott. Definitely looking for that knockout there. And does over half, so still not being able to see the item on the Whimsicott.
Nope, and Habb doesn't get the boost either on the Meteor Mash. So missing the Hydro Pump there was was definitely unfortunate. He would have picked up well, maybe he wouldn't have. I mean, it's in the rain.
Resisted and light screen. I don't know.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. I don't think that does get the knockout. That's definitely a problem, the light screen and the Snarl.
Right.
So
maybe he didn't get the knockout. So
Politoed's like, nope, I'm out of here. Lele comes in instead. He's going to set up the Psychic Terrain. I'm going to predict that Habb is going for the Psychic Z move onto something.
We see the Snarl here coming out from the Arcanine. I think that's the best possible move to get it on for. I think just hoping that his Whimsicott goes down. The special attack drop. That kind of sucks.
The Snarl, this is bad. It's not going super great for Habb. So now that Lele comes in at a -2 and half damage. Actually, Habb just goes for a Meteor Mash. He's like, I'm done with his Whimsicott. Get it off the field.
And that's actually, you never you never want to lose a Pokemon, but this is one of the scenarios where it actually helps you get a free switch.
Yep. It's like
now
you didn't need that anymore.
Now you can threaten that Lele by possibly bringing in the Neolego here.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that'd be an easy way, and I'm sure he would get that knockout too. It's an almost half damage, and Grant. Oh, he's actually going to bring out the Coco.
Yep.
That's going to reset the terrain to be electric terrain, get rid of the boost that would do for psychic moves. I think that this is a pretty good play because he can just do a lot of damage here with Tapu Koko. Nihilego might have been a better play, I think. But then again, it wouldn't have been it would have been threatened a lot by the Metagross.
Yeah,
even burned.
And maybe he just knows something we don't. Maybe he knows that the Discharge could possibly pick up the KO on Metagross here. Definitely some things to consider. If he does go through the Discharge, I believe Arcanine's in range to eat that up if it doesn't happen.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it probably would protect, I imagine, but Arcanine definitely here still could get that burn up. I mean, it's raining, so that's not great, but a burn up plus a Discharge would definitely get the knockout on Metagross. Habb, though, taking his sweet time to make his move. I think he's got to put a lot of thought into this because it's really going to determine whether he wins this game. Lele's going to come back. Definitely needs to reset its stats. Talonflame comes out instead. Probably gonna. Oh, Coco Discharge. Or protected. He definitely dodged a bullet there.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see if he uses that. Oh, well, no, there goes the priority there. He's not going to be able to get the Tailwind up instantly, so looks like an actually pretty good turn because now he can comfortably take out the either the Talonflame or the Metagross, guaranteed to outspeed even without the Tailwind now.
Actually, you probably do both. Yeah. I mean, a Discharge would for sure. I mean, definitely we saw it pick up the Talonflame in your game.
Electric terrain.
And in electric terrain, that'll do 41 damage to Metagross, no problem. So Arcanine can just kind of chill at this point. I would be surprised if Habb didn't protect, but I don't even think that really helps him that much.
Yep.
He's not going to get, like you said, he's not going to get the Tailwind off. He's just going to lose Talonflame, bring in Lele, lose Tapu Lele, and then, well, I mean, he could reset the terrain that way. That's the one benefit. Polly's not doing anything the rest of this game because Tapu Koko really just runs through the rest of this team.
Yep, I agree with you too there. And without Gale Wings now, a Gen 7 drawback because, well, actually, let's go ahead and go to the news too. We see the Thunderbolt. I'm way too tired. We see the Thunderbolt going into the Talonflame, and it faints. Now the question is, does the burn up pick up the KO in the rain?
It should.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Does, yep.
Yeah, he gets those. So now Lele comes out, resets the terrain, but Polly. Oh, but the rain stops, so he could use burn up again. It's not stab anymore, but it's still a strong move. Oh, wait, you can use it. Can you use it multiple times?
You can use it multiple times if you're not going to get the stab damage. Obviously.
Right.
One of the interesting things here too is now the fairy attacks are going to hit for neutral damage on the Arcanine.
True, that's true. But still, okay, the rain's going to come back, though, because of...
a Moonblast crit is what he's going to need to take out the Arcanine at this point.
But, I mean, the Arcanine's not even that scary to me. I mean, if I'm Habib, I'm more worried about this Tapu Koko. You have to survive a discharge, protect with Poly. Yeah, he's just going to forfeit. He knows there's no way that he can win this. So he's just going to save time, start focusing on game 2, which, you know... So what do you do against Saiki? He just seemed like he had a really good handle on that match. Don't let him set up Tailwind, I guess.
I think he had a really good lead. I think that he felt like he was safe from the Intimidate plays, and so now seeing the Will-O-Wisp, I think he'll be a little bit more careful with the Metagross.
Yeah, I think that, you're definitely going to want to worry about the Metagross more, but he didn't even really need it that much because he was worried. Oh, we're doing some Spike Lee stuff. He was worried about the, yeah, let's see. Oh, there we go. Nice. Why? Good, get us some focus. So he didn't see the Nihilego that game, so maybe he's not super worried about whether the Metagross can get that KO. I think Habib for sure needs to change his lead. Yeah, that's the only way he wins this.
Yeah, and Habib's got to get Tailwind up. So whether that means bringing Talonflame in the back,
Whimsy makes that hard too with the taunt.
The Whimsicott makes it hard. So you've got to bring it in the back. You've got to have some way to redirect that taunt from the Whimsicott and get Tailwind up. I think what we saw there is if Habib doesn't get Tailwind up, he pretty much loses the set.
Yeah. Yeah, and the other scary thing though is that even if he does get the Tailwind up, if he doesn't get rid of that Whimsicott like straight away, he's gonna be in just a bigger trouble because it'll return. So, what can Habib do? What can he lead instead of the Talonflame that like will deal with the Whimsicott? I mean, Bullet Punch on Metagross could be nice. I mean, it would before a burn, it would do a lot of damage. And then maybe you could do something like Kruk and well, no, because then you're going to eat a Moonblast. So it's really hard for Habib because I think no matter how he cuts it, he's definitely taking a lot of damage with one of his Pokemon at the cost of getting this Whimsy.
I think the best call here is the Lele Talonflame lead for Habib. It's going to make sure that
well, no, Talonflame can still taunt. It's not on the ground. Can still get taunted.
Good point, yeah. So it's going to be able to do that. I guess it's going to be really difficult here. You know, when all else fails, it always helps to go just a hyper-offensive kind of aggression. I think a Lele Xurkitree lead, while he's not going to get speed control immediately, he threatens the Beast Boost with KOs, and he threatens with Lele. Lele is still a really big threat to Saiki's team.
Yeah, you know, maybe that's what Habib needs to do is just bring in Lele, let him get the Tailwind up, take out the Whimsicott, and then wait until Talonflame can get a free switch in, and then you'll have that priority because it's still at full health. Protect with something, get your own Tailwind up. Psyches would run out, and then you have the speed control advantage. But no, Habib just wants to lead Talonflame Kruk.
Yep.
And we're going to see Whimsicott, Tapu Koko, literally the worst lead Habib could have wanted because now Saiki can just, I mean...
I think he just dazzles and taunts.
No, I wouldn't even need... Do you even need to do that? You could just Moonblast and Thunderbolt.
Yeah,
you know?
as well.
And then, like, sure, he gets the Tailwind up, but you get the knockout, and then you can just get your own Tailwind up after.
Yeah, and I think we've seen that this Whimsicott is pretty offensive compared, you know, relatively speaking.
Right.
I think the Moonblast probably picks up the KO
for sure. A Dazzle sometimes does, too. Well, actually, no, I feel like I did this. I had a special attack Whimsy against his Crocodile before in testing and things like that, and a Moonblast is a roll. It's a high roll, so like you can. The odds are you get the knockout are pretty good. But yeah, see, Habib knows he's afraid, so he switches in Metagross probably to eat up a Moonblast. But it'd be interesting to see if he. Okay, so no taunt coming out, so that's nice. He's gonna lose the Tailwind or the Talonflame, but at least he got the Tailwind up. Thunderbolt is gonna pick up the knockout. And I'm sure a Moonblast into the Metagross, which not going to do any damage at all.
Yeah, and I think if you're Habib, you got the Tailwind up, but at what cost? Talonflame goes down. Was going to be able to put a lot of pressure on
actually does.
Team.
Look at that. That's not... Oh, it's a crit. Okay, that explains it.
So I think right now we just see the Tailwind go up on the opposing side of the field, maybe a Protect. Maybe Saiki reads that and decides to attack with the Koko. I think that'd be a little bit dangerous.
I agree.
I think... it'll be interesting to see what he uses to get the free switch in if the Whimsicott goes down here.
Yeah, and so now, though, I think this is a very good play from Habib. He's got his terrain up. He threatens whatever may want to switch in for the Tapu Koko, and the Whimsicott is going to definitely go down to Sash with a Meteor Mash. You know, there's no burn this time to protect it, and And you know, I wonder, I don't think a Meteor Mash actually picks up the KO on Coco, though. But it's going to protect, so it doesn't really matter. If Habb read that and doubled into the Whimsicott, that would be a fantastic play.
Yeah, and I'm almost kind of wondering if maybe the good play here is leaving the Whimsicott on the field, because if he gets the free switch into Arcanine, we'll see the Will-O-Wisp go into it, but we're going to see the Meteor Mash into Whimsicott. Maybe we find that item out finally. We do reveal the sash. So now next, and the Whimsicott stays alive.
Right,
so.
And it got the Tailwind up, so now they're even. And Saiki actually will end up having his Tailwind up 1 turn longer. Habbib's will run out eventually. So really now, Habb has to just, I still think he goes in on offense. He gets rid of the, maybe he just leaves the Whimsicott. I don't know, but you get rid of that Coco. For sure you get rid of that type of Coco, if you can.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting to see if we just see the Arcanine switch, anticipating a Moonblast or a Dazzling Gleam. But again, the most threatening thing right here is the fact that he's got 2 Psychic Pokemon.
Oh, that's right, and he's got the Light Screen, which is actually super annoying on Whimsicott, because now Thunderbolt's going to do a lot of damage to Metagross, and I don't know if a Meteor Mash will KO. Psychic still does a lot because of the boost. Oh, wow, that does a lot.
Yeah,
okay, never mind.
We're going to see the attacking move from Metagross now, so the Whimsicott will also go down.
Yep.
And
if he hits, I was just going to say, Meteor Mash has a low accuracy, so Habb celebrating his incredible luck there with a nice fist pump.
Yeah, and I'm almost wondering if that worked out to his advantage.
I kind of think so.
Whimsicott's not putting a lot of pressure on.
Right.
So now he gets to really focus in on this Arcanine.
Yeah, but you know what? A Psychic is probably going to do like a lot of damage, and it probably outspeeds too, because they do still both have their Tailwind up for at least 1 more turn, I think. Now, and the Metagross really, I think, has done its job. Although, you know, it might be nice to preserve for like a Bullet Punch after the Psychic Terrain goes away. But still, like, if Habb really needs to get rid of this Arcanine if he can.
Yeah, and we're going to see the Protect come out from Metagross, possibly anticipating that burn up. We see the Moonblast into the Metagross. Psychic goes into the Arcanine slot. Yep, and that has a good chance of. Oh, it doesn't
not quite a 2 KO.
The Arcanine there.
And
we'll
there's
see the
Snarl.
Come off. I think that's the good play. He's going to make sure that he survives another Psychic on the next turn.
Yeah, that was very smart from Saiki. And yeah, now Habbib's Tailwind is out, so he's actually going to be able to get off a second Snarl before it gets another attack. That's going to be a big problem for him. However, if he does have something like Politoed in the back, he can switch into that, well, kind of well. If anything, I think maybe you just protect Lele, because there's only, Psyche's Tailwind is going to run out soon. On this turn. So that means Whimsicott's going to have to go for it again.
Yeah,
Granted, that stinks that you're going to...
Now's the time to take out the Whimsicott so that he doesn't get the speed control back up.
Right.
Maybe he's running Protect so he can avoid that from happening.
Well, no, because I think it's Moonblast, Light Screen, Tailwind, and Taunt, so he doesn't have Protect.
Yep.
So now is the time to get the knockout on this Whimsicott, but at the same time, I think you want your Poly in, so I say you let or not. Because I don't think you wanted to take a Snarl. Oh, he's got Crook.
Yeah, he's got the Crocodile. He's going to bring in and get the Intimidate off.
If he Moonblasted, that's bad.
Yeah, if he Moonblasted into the Crook, that is going to be really bad. Did he do it?
Yep, bye. Oh,
see you later.
Yeah, don't know if that was the best play from Habb, but maybe is the Psychic Terrain running out soon too?
Yeah, it's got 2 more turns.
Okay, yeah, so because otherwise you could just, well, if he gets rid of the Whimsy here. But still, now he's got, does he just have his, he just has his Metagross, which is almost gone. So Lele is actually going to have to do the rest of the work in this game.
Yep.
And with Light Screen still up, that's going to make its job much harder. And we still don't know, the Nihilego, which is going to outspeed and get off a Sludge Bomb. Almost dead, almost knocked out. So the real question here, we know Metagross does not outspeed the Arcanine, so burn up would knock out. Yeah, so you just Sludge Bomb and then you burn up.
Yeah, I think you got to see the burn off into the Metagross and Sludge Bomb into the Lele, and we may see a new champion here.
Yep, Saiki showing the AZ regulars, who is boss. Pretty bad. But yeah, now the burn up goes in. And is going to get the KO, and even if it didn't, the Nihilego with the boost?
That's the only chance, okay.
No, even then, he could do it again next turn. So that's going to be the game. Saiki takes it in a surprise set, 2-0. That means he wins $50. Habb will walk away with 30, and that's very good for him too. So really great play from Saiki there. I'm very impressed. I'm excited to see how much he grows. He mentioned this to us in between rounds. He really didn't even put that much time into this team. He's been busy with other things. So if he really dedicates himself, I think AZ might have a very strong, very scary new player coming out.
Very impressive. I will claim that I was the one person that beat him today, so maybe there's a case that I am the champion.
Yeah,
no,
I believe.
No, not to take away from anything Saiki did. He played really well today.
Yep.
And this is the first time that I've really got to experience a team that was built really well around Nia Lego and the potential that Pokemon has.
Yeah, it's definitely an eye-opening experience from us, but I think that will basically do it for us today. So we can say goodbye, and we'll definitely be back. I think January is our plan because the holidays are coming up and everyone's going to be gone. So we'll be back in January with more VGC Underground. Hopefully have a better crowd, have some more of the AZ regulars here, get some good matches, some good VGC. And in the meantime, there'll always be Smash here that you guys can watch. So thanks for coming out, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Have a good rest of your night.